You probably have already done it, haven't you? But there are those who say, don't rush the season. So what is the proper time? Is there a proper time? A wrong time? And then the other question, when do you take them all down? Or do you just leave them up? Just don't turn the lights on. I have an 8-volume book on this issue. Really? No, not really. But I do have a schedule. And if I share it with you, will you do the same or will you try to outdo me? There is a quote that claims, those who put up Christmas trees early are happier. Do you think that's true? Well, I'm just thankful for modern conveniences. Things like Alexis, put up the tree. Alexis, take down the tree.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
I want to tell you more about Wellington Environmental's dustless blasting services. Wellington can blast paint, grease, graffiti, even stripes off parking lots. Truly amazing and powerful. But can Wellington blast something more sensitive? Yes, Wellington can use dry ice to blast soot and odors off smoke-damaged surfaces right after a fire. Currently, Wellington uses dry ice to clean mold off wood inside a home. Why? Well, dry ice immediately disappears, turns into a vapor. That means no mess to clean up, no damaged surfaces. You need to check with Wellington, always researching and practicing with new, better, faster, safer equipment and products for you. And it's very easy to schedule an estimator for your next project. Call Cindy, 314-644-4930, 644-4930. Be well with Wellington.
News Talk STL. This hour of the Allman Report brought to you by STL Fenceworks, celebrating 50 years of industry-leading service for fence, deck, and leisure space solutions. Visit stlfenceworks.com.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my own saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Wednesday to all of you and yours. This is the Allman Report, the 3-Martini Lunch, Common Sense Radio. Jamie Allman here with you, Ashton over there, and a special guest in the studio. We'll get to him in just a second. I want to let you guys know, based on my comment yesterday when I told you guys, hey, there's no reason to rake leaves ever. And I have another reason why there's no reason to rake leaves ever, is because a day like today, they all come back onto your lawn because the winds are going out of the west at 70 miles an hour. Yeah. So now all the leaves are back on your lawn. So much for that. Told you, I always think of great ways to be lazy. And that's another one. All right, really quickly. This is so great because I told you that these people who are the never Trumpers, the anti-Trumpers, whatever, they've been spending the last year just like whizzing into a fan. This stuff just always comes back on them. And so if you could believe this, the one woman and the one case that actually helped Donald Trump get elected, as if that wasn't bad enough, because we got this beautiful mugshot and the portrait, the one that the media stopped using the instant it was published because they're like, damn, that looks good. We can't use that. So now this case, you know what I'll do? Just for added humiliation, I'll let CNN tell the story.
CNN breaking news.
We are following breaking news just into CNN. A Georgia prosecutor officially dropped the historic racketeering case against President Trump and others for attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. I want to go right to CNN's Kara Scannell.
Don't bother, because that's enough of the story right there. You know what I mean? And they have CNN tell it, and then of course they also showed the mugshot. So, man, this is like the last little drop on the complete fail of the Democrats and the Never Trumpers. And ladies and gentlemen, welcoming to the show, I'm welcoming Ken Williams. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. You know, the reason why they're saying that it's the drop in the case, now the left's going to tell you that it's because of presidential immunity.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd be guilty as sin, but he's a president now.
Right, or coercion or whatever,
Right.
Law, his own form of lawfare, whatever. So, by the way, love your show. You and Vic do a great job. I always listen to it. I mean, I'm on when I can, but when I'm on my way in, always, I'm always
thank you,
there.
man. We appreciate that.
You guys do a great job. I was listening to you guys talking today because this is super important, and you guys were absolutely right about this, because there are people running around out there who are talking as if MAGA is just kind of a passing fad.
Right.
That it's like all fads. It eventually just goes away. And I totally disagree with that. I know for a fact that that's not going to happen. But the reason why a lot of them are saying that is because they want that to happen. They're not really just predicting it from a political science point of view and balls and strikes. They're basically wanting it to happen. And so it occurred to me when you guys were talking too, it's a good point, it's going to be really super important going in. I've talked to Tim Jones about this too. 2026 is going to be crucial. And even before that, and then after that, in making sure, because there are people out there who are just waiting for President Trump to leave office.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are Republicans.
Oh yeah, big time. Oh, I think I've never said that I was a Republican in any way, shape, or form. And Vic and I talk about that all the time, Jamie. They're just sitting back and they're going, okay, well, we got to weather through this.
Yeah, right. And meantime, they're plotting. So we had the latest, which was, and I talked about this really early on. This whole 6-senator videotape thing was a total CIA operation. It was a total deep state operation. That's just another example of how they are continuing to plant the seeds in an attempt to dismantle President Trump's legacy, President Trump himself, and the MAGA generation. And I told you in between shows here that I do trust J.D. Vance. I mean, I think that he's got this going on. But we have to I say trust but verify, because there are going to be people who want to kind of get in on him, and who will make promises to him, and hey man, it doesn't have to be MAGA anymore, but you can kind of reshape it, whatever. And you guys were talking about this thing. People are, well, it's more America first. Like, oh, shut. It's not, because the minute you get rid of MAGA, you'll get rid of America first too.
Oh, absolutely. And what the Democrats try to do, first of all, is division. I mean, that's their first step. They say, okay, well, wait a minute, we have to separate MAGA. So how are we going to do that, you guys? It's impossible, right? Well, no, if we say America first, there's some people out there now we're finding out that are just America first. They're not MAGA. And then there's the other part of it.
Who are they? I don't understand.
Well, that's
this.
the big question right there, right?
Well, I've seen liberals posing as America first people.
They're proving it. You know that new part of the app on X? You can press on when your profile was started, and you can find out where exactly these people were. We're finding out they're from other countries. They're from Kenya.
Yeah, right.
But they're MAGA.
Yeah,
huge MAGA, right? So they need division, Jamie. And so they say, not only America first, but there's America only. So you got 3 different pieces of MAGA.
Yeah.
They want to divide it up. And it's just not going to happen, because MAGA is MAGA. It's where we met Trump. coming down the escalator, and we've been with him ever since, no matter what.
Stop denying Trump and stop denying what President Trump has done for this country.
Yeah.
And not everybody, a lot of people are trying to figure out a way they can kind of thread this needle so they don't have to be associated with President Trump, but can steal all his ideas and act like they're the leaders of the free world. And we've got to be really careful about that. I'm telling you, Ken, I think President Trump won in 2024 in spite of the Republican Party, not because of it. I'm glad he stayed inside the Republican Party because it did already have a structure that he could basically reshape and reform, but it's got to be permanent. Otherwise, I don't care if the Republican Party lives or dies.
Exactly right. And you made up a great point about J.D. Vance. I love J.D. Vance. I think he's doing things right now that do give us signs of hope. But the problem is, okay, do you remember the first term of President Trump? He was all about what he is about now. The problem he didn't really know the severity of the situation. And he was taken to the cleaners by a couple of these people that were in his cabinet. J.D. Vance needs to know this now, that when he starts to align his people for his cabinet in the future, that there's a possibility that these people are going to be that way. So he needs to vet these people even more than Trump did.
Yeah. Do you think Ted Cruz is going to, I know that they've talked about it. Do you think Ted Cruz is really going to run in 2028?
I think maybe there'll be some outliers like that where they're going to say, I am running. But as soon as if they see, my own personal opinion now, if they see a combination of Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I understand that people, we don't want to do I get it. You don't want to do the Kamala Harris thing, right?
No,
where you don't go through the process. And I understand all that, but I think we can still go through the process and definably put it to J.D. Vance to carry the torch because I don't think anybody else can, and I don't think anybody else will. And that's the way we coalesce from 2026 on to 2028, I think.
I totally agree with that. I mean, yeah, we're just through natural progression in conservatives.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't do the things that they did to get Kamala Harris in there. Kamala Harris never received a vote for anything ever.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
She was just there. Well, tell me what fascism is. Tell me what authoritarianism is. That's the definition of it, right? So what we're saying is, no, we're the exact opposite. And if somebody does rise to the occasion, hey, man, I'll give a look at them. I'll give a look at any one of them.
Yeah. But to me, and I agree with you on that, they absolutely have to have the President Trump Make America Great Again vibe. It's got to be, I want red and white. That's what you're going to be dressed in.
Yeah.
If I'm going to give you safe passage through here, because I'm telling you, there are people who have, we just need somebody who talks more cleanly or whatever. What I'm saying is that President Trump has, I think, all the makings of becoming just as much an influential generational leader as George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, maybe even throw Teddy Roosevelt in there and Ronald Reagan.
Totally agree.
And that, but the problem is we're in a different kind of era now where you have so many different factions and so many different people posing as being part of you when they're really not. And a great example of this is this deep state undercover operation with the six senators and the videotape. Those are small little things that come across as being, it's 6 senators, 6 Democrat senators who are worried about President Trump. And it's not at all. One of them is a former CIA.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
And so we've got to really watch out for these things that are posing as legit political situations when actually they're plots.
Yeah. We went from the shutdown that didn't work.
Yeah.
They got blamed for it. Immediately that day that they opened up the government again, there was a new thing. Then there's going to be another new thing. Then there was the 6. In fact, that CIA plant that was one of the people there.
Yeah.
She probably got in touch with one of her people, or they got in touch with her and said, hey, listen, we've got to have something else now. We've got to keep this guy down. And they said, well, let's try this.
This was a pretty serious one. This was kind of a assassination light. And we've got to be careful about these kinds of operations that are designed, actually, if it's not to kill President Trump, it's to completely delegitimize his administration and indeed our government. And that's super dangerous. I mean, those people put us in the crosshairs of every other foreign country out there because they look at this and they think we're unstable at that point. And that was the part of the design.
Yeah. Well, think about this for a second. When President Trump announced his cabinet, right? And then they were trying to stall all that, which they normally, these people that would be processed fine,
right?
They would fight one after the other, right? What it did was it set a table for minimizing each person. So therefore, when a Pete Hegseth comes up and says, it's the Department of War now, they say, yeah, but he said it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I don't care if
the
he's
so-called Department of War.
Right. He's so-called the Department of Defense, I mean, he's the director, whatever. But the point I'm making here is that they want to first delegitimize all of those people so that when they come back, they can say, yeah, but none of this really mattered because it was them.
Yeah. And I say this, but I don't say this with any kind of flippancy necessarily, but I think they're going to try to kill him again. And that's why about 4 months ago, maybe, when I saw President Trump, J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, all of them at one time walking into a restaurant. Do you remember that videotape?
Yeah.
And all I could think, and they were of course heckled. All I could think about was, how in the hell is it possible that these guys are walking into a restaurant? I know there was probably Secret Service there, but how are you walking into a restaurant, almost the entire cabinet, including the third in line to the presidency, which would be Speaker Mike Johnson? What are you guys doing? I mean, It's like, I'd like, and if I wish President Trump, it would occur to one of them, like, maybe we shouldn't be like in one group here walking into a restaurant.
Especially, Jamie, in the times we are in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a guy was at a fence ready to blow President Trump's head off. I think you bringing that up, I think it's important. I think we need to be on the offensive, like Vic and I always talk about, being on the offensive and saying, no, before you say it, we're going to say it right now. And remember, warn everybody, this could happen. You need to be on top of that. You can't wait for a guy to be sitting up on a roof somewhere shooting President Trump. You've got to be proactive, and everybody around him has to go search that roof first before he goes walking down into a restaurant somewhere.
That's why it still surprises me that there wasn't better vetting of the Charlie Kirk appearance there. I mean, what is it about sniper on a roof that you guys don't understand? Since we saw it in Butler, I mean, it terrifies me.
I'll be honest with you. Before this happened, this tragedy with Charlie, I knew of TPUSA. I actually listened to Charlie a lot, but I didn't really pay attention to each visit that he had with different colleges, right?
Yeah.
But damn, those people, Jamie, they should have known about all that. The people that were there. I mean, I got to admit, I didn't pay attention close enough. I was up in Utah when it happened. And it's like, where were you people? Where that guy had a direct shot to Charlie Kirk, and that's why I can't get over that and say, was it really that kid? Was it really just that kid?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it's apparently that one of his former security chief said that the people who run like the campus police said they had the roofs covered, so it was considered, but they were told apparently that the college police people said, we've got you covered. We've got the roofs covered.
College police said,
yeah, right. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
University police or whatever it is.
We got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So what is that? I was going to ask, what is that? Is that a chipmunk on your hoodie over there?
Oh man, this is a big deal. If you travel down in the south and southwest, it's Buc-ee's. It's like a Wally's here.
Yeah.
But it's Buc-ee's.
Oh, Buc-ee's. Okay.
But Buc-ee's is like 3 times as big. Yeah. And
he's wearing a red hat like you. It's almost like you're wearing like a uniform.
I know.
Well, look what the cat drug in.
What the hell's going on here?
Oh, I just took Ken out to dinner. It's all. We're just
friends.
We're just talking. We're just friends. We're buddies.
Right.
Yeah, we're just
Let's not make a habit of this.
No, we were talking about it. I was listening. It's based on your show, and I didn't want to bother
that's
you
fine.
because I realized you work so hard for 3 hours, and the last thing you'd want to do is have to work more. And I figured, well, Ken, since he's the producer and everything else, I know he talks on the show. I thought, well, I'll have him because he's probably got a little more fuel in him that I could utilize for the show.
I'm not buying any of
He
this.
didn't want to burden you at all, Vic.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to do any of that. Did you hear what we were talking about?
No.
Oh,
I just said, "Where's Ken?" And they said I was in with Jamie. I'm like, "Let me get in there, make sure nothing's going on."
But it was about the Vic Porcelli show. So
well, because I was listening to your show.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I was talking about, and we've talked about this before. I was listening to your show, and I pointed out it was very interesting. I can't figure out whether I need to take a break here or I can come back. I think I'm gonna take a break here and come back because you know how Jeff is.
We'll be back lickety splickety.
Yeah, lickety splickety, as they say. You like that, don't you?
I love everything about this show. You have no idea.
You do?
I do.
Yeah.
Aw. Wow, the award-winning Vic Porcelli.
You're the
no,
award-winning.
we always say the award-winning Jamie Allman show.
Yeah, but I don't have an award for wreaths for veterans.
Oh,
That's true, though.
that wasn't a. Yeah, I guess that was.
That
an
is
award.
true. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd trade in any one of my 15 Emmys for that wreath award.
Yeah.
That was a little rubbed in, I think.
We are.
I know, I'm
15
just kidding.
Emmys.
No, I'm just kidding.
We
I
only-
would, though.
Have you heard of? Did he win 15 Emmys? I won 15 Emmys.
The great Vic Porcelli and Ken Williams. This is the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Is this true that the mother of Caroline Levitt's nephew has been arrested by ICE? I'm not kidding. We'll talk more about that. It's Common Sense Radio and the 3 martini lunch with the 3 caballeros, actually 4 counting Ashland. So get moving, people.
This app is absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I listen on my phone.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
It is awesome.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is that when you retire, the chances are good that you'll live 20, 30, maybe even 40 years past your retirement. The bad news is that once you retire, you're going to live 20, 30, maybe 40 years past your retirement. Why is that bad news? Because so many people are not prepared for their retirement. And so many people, believe me, if you're living that long towards that last decade of your golden years, you don't want to be checking for change in the car ashtray. I know there are no longer car ashtrays, but you'll figure out a way to get one so you can look for change in it. That's how desperate you might be. That's why the Gemini Wealth Group is there for you. And Jeff Portman, you can call him directly at 314-888-0123, thegeminiwealthgroup.com. When Jeff was in a while back, you guys okay over there? You okay? You want me to get you a tissue or a cold medicine or something over there? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Ventilator or something?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. All right. thegeminiwealthgroup.com. So here's the deal. Diversification of your portfolio is super important. And it's not just diversification for diversification's sake. You have to target great assets and great investments. And Jeff and the Gemini Wealth Group know exactly how to do that. So there's a good chance that you could live a long time just on the dividends. That's what their goal is. And that's a pretty great goal for you in retirement and in your golden years. The GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Hey, it's Vic Porcelli, and my favorite sandwich from Capriati's is the Wagyu beef French dip. So good. It's the au jus that makes it. And the Wagyu beef is pretty good, too. I love Capriati's, and you will, too.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Severe storms are just part of life here in St. Louis, and that means your roof absorbs a lot of wear and tear. it might be time to replace it to keep the rest of your house or your business safe. I'm Mike Ferguson for TB Exteriors. Whether it's storm repair or a complete roof replacement, TB Exteriors has been providing roofing, gutter, siding, and window exteriors throughout St. Louis. And this is important, they'll assist you with insurance claims. Visit tbexteriors.com to schedule a free estimate.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
Free speech is alive and well in America.
Thanks for taking my call.
Right here.
You know what's going on?
Have a great awakening.
You see through the smoke screen.
It's cool to be woke.
News Talk STL.
Until it's not.
News, analysis, opinion.
I know nothing to say. Someone has taken my place when times go bad.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Wednesday to all of you and yours. This is the Allman Report on Newstalk STL. Jamie Allman here, and Aston's over there. And I feel like when I look at the video of us on here, you do realize that that we look like we're ready to have like a 3-hour lunch and just drinking and smoking and talking it out.
I'm all about it.
I'm just saying, it's
just watch no cuss
it's
words.
just funny. Just even the way Vic is sitting. You guys have a great. I don't know. You're just cute.
He does have the beard now.
Yeah.
This is for Santa.
Vic is cuddly, isn't he?
He is.
Super cuddly.
You are cuddly.
Yep.
I have to admit. You can have a great show. I love listening to it, and I was listening on my way in, and I get all the thing. Like I like the chat box. Oh, the chat box is coming up. I'm like all excited driving down 270. I'm like, I like that.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding you. I've got to the point where I'm getting all the benchmarks down and stuff.
All right.
It's pretty cool.
All right. That's crap.
Vic has that New Jersey skepticism going on.
Yeah. You making fun of
You
me?
sure?
You making fun of me?
Hey, let me tell you.
Sitting there, I will literally be, and I don't say that word often, but I would be sitting there across from him. We're talking, and then he'll stop and he'll look at me. What are you looking at? I'm like, what? That's all I'm doing.
That's why we're glad Vic's not armed.
Right.
How do you know I'm not armed?
Well, that's true.
I know. So after the show, when he came walking into the hallway, he walks by and I kind of hit him on his shoulder. He goes, "What was that for?" I'm like, "I was just saying hi." It was just, why'd you hit me? I'm like, I didn't.
Kind of felt like a right cross. You know?
Really?
Like the left hook was coming next.
Yeah. Well, if that was my intention, it would have happened.
Yeah.
Oh. So you're a badass? Is that what you're saying?
No. It's kind of like when the chicks are like, "Hey, why are you doing that?" It's like, listen, if I wanted you, I'd have had you.
Right.
That's a line you can use. That's a line you can use.
I'm putting it right in my pocket.
So anyway, I was listening to the show today, and you guys, I love the fact that you guys have such a great common sense approach to make America great again. You know, this isn't something that everybody has to noodle over or navel gaze over. It's very, very simple what this movement is all about. And I've heard people talk about how, well, it's a passing fad, as all fads are. They always wind up going away. And those are people who want it to, right? And so I was talking to Ken just about what we need to do over the next 3.5 years to make sure that the people who are kind of like hiding out and waiting for Trump to leave aren't going to take hold or aren't already working towards that goal of just simply he leaves and then suddenly they regain control of the party again in their own way.
So you're talking about people on our side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, supposedly on our
that's
side.
the shame of what you're saying is that we're talking about people on our side.
Yeah.
Because, well, you saw what happened with the Bush people after Cheney's death. That Bush is going to they're going to have a comeback. He wants to come out of exile and all this other nonsense. No, you know this because you know because you're Italian, right?
Yes.
So so sometimes, as we have seen in every great mafia movie,
the people who can do the most harm to you are the ones who are closest to you, right?
Yeah.
Fredo.
Right, exactly.
But so you got to really be careful. But that doesn't mean you mistrust everybody. But I think there could be more damage done to President Trump and Make America Great Again by Republicans and so-called conservatives than any Democrat out there, because they're not very good at it.
What do you say?
No, go ahead.
I think that's right, and I think that when you were saying that, I'm saying, well, who are we talking about? And the list is long.
Yeah,
that's the shame about it.
Yeah.
And to have to worry about people in our own party. And I think I've said from the beginning of the show that Ken and I have done together that the Democrats are great at circling the wagons, and we are not.
Yeah. No, because and it's weird because it seems like there are so many people. Like if you just look at all the commentary people, like I've said this before. I kind of get sick of the whole Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly, Mark, all these people bickering with each other and Candace Owens and all this nonsense. But for some reason, that's a thing in our league, and I just don't understand it.
Well, one part of this is, Jamie, is that you've got on the Democrat side, everybody likes to coalesce. Everybody likes to be like lemmings. They'll follow the leader, and they'll all say the exact same thing. We played clips where 45 different people say the exact same thing because that's what they put out. That's the narrative that they put out. So then you got on the right, independent people, and that's harder to keep under control. The problem is we've got a uniparty that we're dealing with. And I believe in I know that there are people that don't believe in this uniparty thing.
I do.
I think there is a uniparty.
Oh,
I think there are
absolutely.
people that are saying, you know what? Either or, I'm getting paid and I'm getting my piece. So I don't really care. And that's a bad way to run this country.
Well, how do we think that all the things that President Trump is having to correct, including a comeback of manufacturing or a return to trade that actually is fair, as well as being free, all those things that he's having to correct were all things that were dismantled by both parties over a period of about 40 years.
Yep.
And both parties were part of it. Immigration, my goodness, I've said this time and time again, that Bill Clinton was better at prosecuting employers who hired illegals than George Bush was.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just to simply blame Democrats would be unwise, because then we don't resolve the problem that will be the fissure in the Make America Great Again movement, because that's going to be the Republicans who sat around forever, never did anything. President Trump comes in, says, hold my beer, and they're jealous, and they'd rather see him go than have to work harder to be a better American representative.
Well, I do love this cabinet, though.
Man. Yeah.
And I think that somebody out of that cabinet is one of the people we're looking for. If it's not J.D. Vance, it's Marco Rubio. By the way, did you know that Scott Bessent was gay?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Well, early on I did. Yeah.
Why did I not know that?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't matter. That's why I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Just does his
Well,
job. He's not the gay Treasury Secretary, right?
No.
But if he was a Democrat, he'd be the gay secretary. Of course, that would be being the secretary is gay.
Well, that's why I always try to. It's so weird how President Trump is always talked about as some kind of anti-LGBTQ guy, or he's a xenophobe, or he doesn't like women and all this stuff. And you look at his cabinet and the diversity of his cabinet, and Bessent's a classic gay guy, because a lot of what was that?
No, I'm so stupid. I missed all this.
I know, but see, whenever I try to convey to people about gay people, and is you got to know that gay people are probably more like Scott Bessent than they are like the guy at the Pride Parade, whatever.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because first of all, they tend to be wealthy. There's a car dealer that we all know who one time told me, he goes, I love gay couples because they have money and they come in and spend and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's a typical.
It just got by me. Anyway, back to the original thing. We got a great cabinet, and anybody on that cabinet, I think, would be good. I think J.D. Vance is a good successor, but you don't seem to think so.
No, I do. I just was talking to Ken about how we need to make sure that he's not like, it doesn't become kind of Pinocchio after Trump leaves and starts hanging out with the Lost Boys to become a real boy. You know what I mean? He's got to remember where he came from. I just because I love him, but I just want to make sure that there aren't other people kind of sticking their fangs in him.
And it's such a valid point, Vic, because you and I have actually talked about this many times where, Trump's first term, for example, he didn't know what was really happening behind the scenes. And my fear, like Jamie's, would be, JD Vance comes in, for example, and he's ready to go MAGA. He's MAGA all the way. Someone comes up beside him and says, hey, yeah, this is great, but if you lean this way a little bit and a little bit at a time, taking a nip at him once in a while could make him a little bit take him away from the MAGA movement a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And I don't think he's susceptible to it necessarily.
No.
But it's Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
You never know. So it's a thing. So that anyway, hey, by the way, you guys know Vic and I go way back.
Way back.
Yeah. To the days of the river.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that Vic is the one who turned me on to Sonia Dada.
All right.
Yeah, man. You're the one. You're the reason. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I play him as bumper music.
We do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back with the river. And then I was at Channel 4 and did a story about went to Vic's house. What was that story about?
And Larry Connors and Julius Hunter were the anchors that day. So it was Larry, you, and then Vic about the story about Vic.
And full circle, we're all here together.
Crazy.
It's crazy. So we lived in Baldwin, and that was back in the day when music you had to play at the radio station came from CDs. There was no computer that played it. So I had my CD cases with and it wasn't the Stones and stuff. It was TV's greatest hits and music beds that I would use. And this kid threw a rock through my window, stole the stuff. I called the police, who says, they'll probably sell them to CD Revolution or something like that. And I said, okay. So I called CD Revolution, and they said, all right, we'll keep a lookout for him. I gave him a list. Sure enough, the next day, CD Revolution calls and says, the kid's here selling your CDs. So I called the police.
CD Revolution.
Whatever. Is that what it was?
I don't know.
Wasn't that what it was? CD
I don't know. Probably.
I said, okay, I'll meet you there. I don't know what I thought I was going to do, but I met him there. And they arrested this kid, and it was part of this big ring of burglaries, to the point where these kids had a goat in their apartment that they would feed documents to, and the goat would eat all the documents. But I used to get letters all the time. He's got a parole hearing coming up and stuff, and
with the goat part, I didn't know about.
Yeah,
and you were the reporter.
Well, he was. I was so embarrassed of me in that thing. I got a mullet, hairdo.
Oh, it was so funny though.
I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse tank top, no shoes. I'm like
shorts.
Did he really have a goat in his apartment that would eat documents?
Yeah, anything, people's driver's license, anything with identifying information, he would feed to the goat.
Your goat. The police are coming, cramming him down.
Give it to the goat.
That's like a movie, man. I'd go to see a movie about a goat that is in an apartment eating documents that a criminal has.
I just think it's great that you and me and Larry are all here now together.
I know.
And they were all part of that story.
Right on.
And Larry's like, you know what you don't do? You don't pull on Superman's cape. And you don't steal money from a DJ. Music from a DJ.
Yeah, Commander Connors always had that last word, because I'd be up on the set there and I'd say, anyway, back to you guys. Well, Jamie, I just told the story, Larry. I just told the story. You don't have to tell it again. Okay. That's what we called him, Commander Connors.
Oh, yeah.
Love the commander.
But it also
I had to change the intro on Fridays from Mr. Connors' Neighborhood to Commander Connors' Neighborhood.
Well, and the thing is, really quickly, and that's why it's another great example of why, and you guys know this in the business, you don't want to make enemies in this business, and because the chances are pretty good that someday you're going to be working with whoever that is you crossed again. And that's a good lesson to learn.
Never
not
burn
that
a
I
bridge.
would have, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've tried not to do that, and people hate me anyway. There's plenty of people that hate me in this industry, in this town.
They do?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, now more than ever, because you're conservative. You didn't come out until for the last 5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Or more.
Well, see, closeted that whole time.
Yeah.
But now I'm out and I'm fabulous.
You and Scott Bissett.
I had no idea. That's good, though, that I didn't know. See what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because we all knew Pete Buttigieg was gay. Oh, my God. Breastfeeding my
Every
kids.
day.
Now you're overly interested, though.
I am. Thanks, Jamie.
All right.
Thanks, Jamie. Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah,
Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. I love you so much. Vic Porcelli and Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show. Coming up, our friend Rick Pogue. This is Common Sense Radio, the 3 Martini Lunch, the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. News, analysis,
glad you're talking about this.
opinion.
I'm glad you're fired up about it, too, because I know I am.
News Talk STL.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about Buckingham Pest Control, buckinghampestcontrol.com. Let me tell you something also about the amazing insulation that Buckingham Pest Control will lay on you, and it's something you want to get to before the end of the year. That is for sure, and the reason for that is because there are tax credits coming when you use this type of insulation. It's called TAP. It stands for Thermal Acoustical Pest Control, and it basically uses a proprietary treatment that basically keeps the cellulose flame retardant, but also increases the thermal efficiency, decreases sound transfer, and it's rated to control many species of insects and things like that, pests that may find their way into your attic. Right now, Spire is giving a rebate for it, and the government is giving you a federal tax credit for it. So that runs out at the end of the year. BuckinghamPestControl.com. Noel, I've known him for a long time. He's a longtime supporter of the Allman brand. I appreciate these guys so much, and they're really super good at what they do. And don't forget, the brown recluse spiders are kind of a thing in St. Louis for some reason. And so you're going to have to make sure that you get those, because you get bitten by one of those and that'll lay you up. You'll be on antibiotics. It's a disaster. So you want to make sure that's taken care of, because they're right now looking for that warm place, and it's going to be your home and maybe even your bed. Look, there's a spider already on the top of your head. Watch out. Make sure Buckingham Pest Control is your pest solution. BuckinghamPestControl.com.
Are you searching for an excellent new vehicle or a great deal on a used one? Then check out Tyler Trineri, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Tim Jones here to tell you what loyal Tyler Trineri customers already know. Every new vehicle and select used ones come with an exclusive lifetime warranty. And Tyler Trineri has a service department second to none. I should know. I've been a loyal and happy customer for years. For the best price, selection, and the amazing lifetime warranty, check out Tyler Trineri today, right off Interstate 44 in beautiful Pacific, Missouri. Online at TylerTrineri.com, TylerTrineri.com.
Looking for treasures from the past? Discover Mimi's Antiques Attic, your locally owned and family-operated treasure hunt destination. Explore 16,000 square feet of antiques, crafts, collectibles, and designer items across 225 unique rental spaces. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 7, and Sundays, 10 to 6 at 1000 Warrenton Shops in Warrenton. Mimi's Antiques Attic, where every visit uncovers new treasures.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the Wallner home selling team of Berkshire Hathaway. I'm proud to be a buyer's agent with the Wallner home selling team. And just recently, for instance, so as a buyer's agent, I will fight for you. I'll fight for the best price on the home. I'll fight for the repairs that need to be done on the home, all that kind of stuff. Some people have called me a bulldog, but I'm nice about it, and that's benefits you. We're all like that on the Wallner home selling team of Berkshire Hathaway, the number one home selling team in the St. Louis area with Berkshire Hathaway. And I got to tell you, when it comes to selling your home, listing your home, you're not going to be able to get a better price from anybody else, because Rodney and the team, what they do is they create a feeding frenzy over your house. And so you're getting top dollar for it with the lowest commission as well, and the kind of service nobody else is going to give. I mean, we set it up, drone pictures, we do all the fancy stuff to make that home so appealing to people. And that's why we're the number one home selling team. And also, as your buyer's agent, we've got a ton of people who are fabulous at what they do and ready to rock and roll for you. And I'll get you into a home lickety-splickety, as they say. The Wallner home selling team of Berkshire Hathaway, 314-810-SOLD.
Colombo and Company.
State Rep Justin Sparks is the latest Missouri politician to join the Trump administration. We'll discuss the state's influence Wednesday with Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd, and we'll open closest cabinet.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Jamie Allman here with you, Ashton over there, and it's the 3 Martini lunch, people. That's what it is. Thanksgiving Eve. Oh, I found that. Shoot. I found that piece. I realized I should have been more prepared than this. But this is funny because let me see if I can get this on the right web. Just listen to the music and mind yourselves. Hang on. Here we go. So this is funny. So you guys remember the actor William Macy? And he's really pretty funny. So this guy asks him, like, what food do you think should never be improved upon ever? This is what he had to say.
Ever be modernized.
Stuffing at Thanksgiving. I get so pissed off when people say, oh, I made it better. I didn't wait all year for Thanksgiving to have my stuffing with olives and oysters and artichokes in it. No, I want it out of the bag. Just wet it and make it hot. That's what I want. That's what I wait for all year.
Is there one classic dish that you don't believe should ever be modernized?
Stuffing at Thanksgiving. I get so pissed off when people say, oh, I made it better. I didn't wait all year for Thanksgiving to have my stuffing with olives and oysters and artichokes in it. No, I want it out of the bag. Just wet it and make it hot. That's what I want. That's what
That's what I waited all year for. That's the deal. Yeah. I forgot about him. I don't know where that came from either. It's just some talk show or something. All right. So you guys were wondering about the story I was telling you about Caroline Levitt's. So I just want to prepare you for the fact that this story is going to be misconstrued all day long by the left-wing media. And the headline on this is the mother of Caroline Levitt's nephew has been taken into ICE custody. And so you're going to be hearing from people, oh, look at this. Yeah, apparently he's a real, you get the picture. But then you read the rest of the story and you understand, man, this is like 6 degrees of separation here, basically. So the woman taken into ICE custody basically just has a familial connection to Caroline Levitt. I mean, and believe me, this is kind of a stretch to make it anything else. Her name is Bruna Faria, currently in custody at an ICE facility in New Orleans after being arrested in Revere, Massachusetts. Boy, I wonder who that's named after. In Revere, Massachusetts. So here's the deal. This woman shares an 11-year-old child with Levitt's brother, Michael. Like, oh, okay, that's why it's in that. But it basically, they haven't talked to this Bruna chick for 10 years because they've been estranged. She's been estranged from the family. And the young boy, the boy lives full time with Levitt's brother. So basically, there's almost no connection except for the fact that if I didn't know any better, I bet you that Bruna had the dime dropped on her by the Levitt family. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I'm not going to put words in the mouths of people, but you got to figure that, okay, so an illegal alien connected to Caroline Levitt's family, once married to her brother, totally estranged from her brother, doesn't even see her son because the kid lives full time. You got to wonder whether Michael or Caroline said, "Oh yeah, Ice. We know somebody who you might be interested in," because they've got to know what her status is. Either way, what's going to happen is by the time it all kind of boils down into the network news category, because you know how they always love irony, right? Oh, that's ironic, and they try to make insinuations about it. It's going to turn out somehow some negative about Caroline Levitt or her family, whatever. And the reality is, this woman who was taken into custody had no real connection to the family. So that's how that goes. All right, coming up. Oh, the great Rick Pogue, our business guru, always checking in. Chat with him. Hope you guys are having a good Thanksgiving Eve. I see that they're already I see the arrangements for the Thanksgiving Day parade. So I'm seeing all of the floats, the blimps and all that kind of stuff. I think that's Governor Pritzker. Wow. Can't wait to see him floating down Fifth Avenue. It's Common Sense Radio, the 3 Martini Lunch.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 2 times every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. You could also reach Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Located in the heart of St. Charles, Kevin's Guns is your family-owned destination for all things firearms. Whether you're a collector, hunter, or military enthusiast, we have it or can get it for you. From new to used rifles and handguns in every style and caliber, our friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help educate you and ensure you make the perfect choice for your needs. Buy, sell, or browse our incredible selection at kevinsguns.net or call 636-493-1195. Kevin's Guns, where gun enthusiasts come home.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
KLGY HD3 Clay, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Georgia election interference case against President Trump and 14 others has been dismissed.
The prosecutor who last month took over the Georgia election interference case against President Donald Trump and others says in a court filing that he's decided not to pursue the case further. Peter Skandalakis took over the case from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, whose romantic relationship with the special prosecutor she had picked to lead the case gave an appearance of impropriety.
That is Donna Warder reporting. The Fulton County Superior Court judge in this case, Scott McAfee, issued a one-paragraph order dismissing the case in its entirety. There's been a drop in consumer confidence.
Consumers were much less confident in the economy in November due to the government shutdown, weak hiring, and stubborn inflation. The Conference Board survey ran through November 18th, about 5 days after the government shutdown ended. During that time, the Consumer Confidence Index dropped to 88.7, hitting its lowest reading since April. Americans were increasingly wary of high costs, fueling affordability concerns, and were concerned about sluggish job gains, with a perception that the labor market is worsening. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A Texas landlord's case before the U.S. Supreme Court is challenging the Postal Service's exemption from lawsuits.
The landlord alleges her mail was deliberately withheld for 2 years. The Postal Service argues that allowing such lawsuits could lead to a flood of litigation. During recent oral arguments, a government lawyer warned of numerous lawsuits if the court rules in the landlord's favor. However, the landlord's attorney claims that such cases would be rare. The Supreme Court's decision could redefine the Postal Service's liability under the Federal Tort Claims Act. Rich Thomason reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving you money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
It's a cold wind out there today. At least we have the sunny skies to look forward to. We'll get even more sunshine as the afternoon progresses. But boy, it's windy. Those northwest to westerly winds, 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting up to 35. So your wind chills are going to stay near 30 even in this afternoon. Chilly day tomorrow for Thanksgiving, but lots of sunshine, not as windy, but a breeze. The high about 42 degrees. And still watching a wintry storm moving in for Friday night into Saturday. Could leave a little snow behind. We'll keep you posted. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
Want to work with a winner? Follow the multiplier. 279 times growth in total market cap in the past nearly 30 years. 50 times growth in client assets, and ranked the #1 wealth management firm for employee advisor satisfaction by J.D. Power 3 years in a row. Choose a winner. Choose Stifel, where success meets success. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
This holiday season, help Feed My People fill the shelves. News Talk STL and the STL County GOP are partnering for an annual food drive, November 10th through December 21st. Drop off your non-perishable food donations at all Bartolino's restaurants, all Chris's Pancakes and dining locations, and all 3 Michaels Flooring outlets, or at the News Talk STL studios.
Hey, it's Larry Connors, and together we can make a difference for families in need.
Visit newstalkstl.com for complete drop-off locations.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Fraud and scams can strike anyone. My office works to ensure that Missouri is free from deception and unfair practices. Last year, we handled over 65,000 consumer complaints and returned more than $400 million to Missourians. If you've been a victim of fraud, call 800-392-8222 or visit ago.mo.gov.
Paid for by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk. Live and local.
I need to know what's going on in my city.
News Talk STL.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Wednesday to all of you and yours. It's Common Sense Radio. And the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Jamie Allman here and Ashton over there. On top of that, it's the 3 Martini lunch, people. Yeah. You know, Tracy says, I hope William, that's William, the guy with the stuffing thing, it gets to eat it more than once a year. I don't know. I don't really eat stuffing generally, like, other than Thanksgiving. Even though stuffing is good, it probably deserves to be eaten more than that, than just on Thanksgiving. There used to be a place, I think they're still open. Are the Boston Markets still open? Because I used to go in there sometimes because they had great chicken salad. That was, I think, made from the chickens they served. Because you go in there and it's like everybody's having Thanksgiving. Because that would be the place where you'd go if you wanted like a plate of mashed potatoes and gravy and green peas and a chicken, and then you'd go in there and be like, "Damn, people!" It was like noon, and I'm like, "Wow, you guys are eating like it. You're never going to eat again." Well, I don't know what happened. It was a very specialized restaurant, but they're called the Boston Market. I think they did kind of go by the wayside. Oh yeah, Tree says Christmas deserves it. Yes, Christmas deserves stuffing. And Julie says, Mom says extra for me. Yeah, I do love it. I could make a stuffing sandwich. Wouldn't that be great? You know, like 2 pieces of bread, stuffing, and then put some Durkee's mustard on it. I'm going to do that. Do that right now. Later, I mean. Is the Rickster on there? Huh?
We lost him. I have to call him again.
Oh, okay. I'm calling Rick Pogue, Rick Pogue. Over and out. Yeah, I love stuffing, and then the potatoes and the turkey. Mayor Margaret says Boston Market. I don't think it's around anymore. Yeah, I think it went. I mean, really, honestly, you could. You really had a specialized thing. It wasn't a place like you go back to all the time. You know. Rick Poe, get ready for a big night, man. I forgot. Yeah, tonight's Guns and Hoses. I'm actually going to be doing Phoenix Radio drive time tonight, so they're an hour behind, so I'll be occupied on Phoenix Radio, but you're going to be at Guns and Hoses, which is always a great tradition on Wednesdays.
I'll be at Guns and Hoses. I'm headed down to Carbon and Clayton now, Carbon Club, which you've been in there with me before. Great place. I'm headed down there now, and I'll be up there tonight with Charlie Metzger and the St. Louis Hero Network, which is a great organization. We raised $20,000 for him at our golf tournament back in September, and that was an honor. And I'll also be hanging around Tim Jones and Chad Hansen and Nick Schroer and those.
Oh,
guys.
Nice. Well, you tell them all hello for me. I just saw Tim here. And now, what does the foundation do again? Sounds great.
Oh, it's St. Louis Hero Network. Well, they care for they care for injured first responders and police officers and they're firefighters, and it's just a great local organization, and we were happy to be able to do that. We've already committed to do the golf tournament again next year. That's for the hideout, for Johnny's hideout. But Charlie's a great guy. I got to know him, get pretty close with him, and he's going to hang out there with us. I got the hideout party bus picking us up later and taking us down there.
I've been on the hideout party bus.
Yes, you have.
It sounds like it's going to be a fun night, and of course, Guns N' Hoses is a avid manufacturer of Thursday hangovers.
Oh, is it ever? And I always tell my wife, I'm like, oh, I'll be home. Won't be too late. And of course, it always is. And the next day, I feel like absolute horrid.
Yeah, that person who is passing on the glass of wine at Thanksgiving dinner was at Guns N' Hoses.
You got that right, brother.
Oh, that's funny.
How's your day?
Hey, buddy, listen, I was telling the stories. I was thinking about you last weekend, and I don't know what it was, but I've been telling everybody I know, including here on the radio, where I said, it was as if people were forbidden from staying at home that day on the weekend, because every single parking lot, every single restaurant, every single shopping center, and the roads were just packed with people, just everybody scurrying around. It was crazy, man. Good sign.
Very good sign. And the left would like nothing better than for us all to think that it's gloom and doom and the economy's, in the tank and all, in the trash and all this total nonsense. I watch, the indicators I watch, and you watch common sense indicators like people being out shopping, not being able to find parking spaces, stuff like that. Of course, I watch the Dow, I watch it go up and down, but aggregately, I watch it continue to go up, which of course it will. It will go faster and faster under Trump. Oil's down to $58 a barrel, and it's not finished falling yet. But it's all good economic indicators. If only the media and the Democrats would be intellectually honest and allow this economy to grow, it would be a lot better. But they're like a wet blanket, and they have an advertising campaign against anything President Trump does, whether it's good or bad, because they're so drenched in TDS stage 4 at this point.
Yeah, and I realize that there are some things that are pretty pricey, but that's always been the case. I mean, it was even worse when Biden was president. So I don't understand why suddenly it's this is what I can't stand sometimes about some Republicans is they'll adopt the language which is basically built as an editorial. This whole thing about affordability is nonsense, because no one really knows what affordability is, right? So, but if you just say, "Oh, we're aiming for affordability," it's like you're not. What do you mean by that? I mean, and so people say, "Well, yeah, Republicans need to start talking like that." Well, I said, "Well, nobody knows what it means." I mean, I understand what you're talking about generally, but it really is a nonsense term, and we ought to talk about prices and things like that.
Well, yeah, the Democrat Party has always been a party of catchphrases. They invent these.
Yeah.
I'll say this for the Democrat Party, and you along with Vic and Ken in your last segment mentioned it. They're very good at circling the wagons. They're very good at marketing.
Oh yeah.
It's dishonest. It's disingenuous. It's BS, but it's still really good marketing. And if you remember, I remember the first time I heard kitchen table issues, and remember, I forget that was years ago, and they started saying kitchen table issues. Well, it's like they create a catchphrase and they pass it down through the ranks, and within hours, everyone is saying the same word or the same phrase. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. I wish we were able to do that the same way.
Oh, I know. I totally agree. And what's worse too is that the Democrats create catchphrases, and we sit there and use them like a bunch of lemmings. It's just crazy. And there's other different ways. I saw something, and this is a great one. I learned a lot from this. It was this video, and this guy bought a beef tenderloin, and he said, "There is no reason for you to buy any of these filet mignons or anything by themselves. What you do is you buy a beef tenderloin, and then you cut it up into all of its different varying manifestations. So you've got, a nice steak that comes out of it. Then you cut up the middle for the filet mignons, and it goes forever. It's like $40 cheaper than if you just bought this stuff by itself.
Yeah. And people who barbecue or smoke their own meats, they all know that way too well.
Yeah.
But there are lots of ways to be be smart with your money and to make your dollar go further. If we would just let take the wet blanket off the economy, President Trump will help grow the dollar just to the things he's doing. I mean, he's actually making deals overseas that are netting us income. I don't know any president in history that's ever done that made a deal overseas. Like you heard this proposal with Ukraine. We're going to make 50% of the profits off of it. How many presidents in your lifetime have done that? None. We just give stuff away.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm not quite sure why. Like, for instance, when President Trump talks about the Federal Reserve, the reality is we shouldn't even have a Federal Reserve. There shouldn't even be interest rates set by an unelected body of individuals. It all ought to be free market oriented, don't you think?
Yes, the Federal Reserve was created after the crash, the stock market crash in 1929. They created the Federal Reserve to basically save the United States economy. The problem with government has been the problem with government since its beginning. It never shrinks. Okay, was it necessary to do that at that time back then? Yeah, probably. But then you don't need it anymore. You get rid of it. Well, the government doesn't operate that way. They like to take, but they hate giving up anything. They hate giving anything back. But I agree with you. There's no reason to have that anymore.
Yeah, like a lot of you're so right about that with these separate other departments, because they grow into something that they weren't really intended to be. I mean, I think a perfect example of that would be the FCC, which really technically we shouldn't even have, because the FCC now, where it used to be kind of this regulator of this or that, what the FCC really wound up doing. Hello? You there? Are you there? See, I knew when I started talking about the FCC. What's that? You there, buddy? I heard this like boom, and then he's gone. See, that's I started talking about the FCC, and the FCC sabotaged my show. So that's what you get for bad mouthing the FCC. Then the FCC comes in and then hangs up your guest's phone line. They intercept it. They and the Pentaverate, which is the Queen, the Rockefellers, and and Colonel Sanders. So that they're all involved in this, and I'll be lucky if I walk out of here alive. That's what I'm saying. So hey, let's go ahead and get him on. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get him on. Let's get Rick back on. Hi, Rick.
Yeah, hey, the Democrats must be listening, man. They cut our phone call short.
I was going after the FCC, and that's when that happened. Exactly when that happened. So what I was saying is,
like they know.
What I'm saying is the FCC was created at one point just more of a regulatory agency in the dawn of radio broadcasting and everything else. And then what the FCC ultimately did was they, like, for instance, we had cell phone technology in the 50s. And they prevented cell phone technology from growing. And then we have a situation where we have like 4 or 5 companies that own every single radio and television station in the country. And that's because the FCC then gets in bed with these giant corporation and starts handing out all these licenses and stuff. So that's another example of what we've seen. You should see the stuff that we would have had earlier but didn't because the FCC just sabotaged it. Crazy.
Yeah, the government likes to control things, doesn't it? And like I said, it hates to give it back. But yeah, it's we've been overregulated for decades and decades and decades. So it's time to free some of that. And again, that's something else that President Trump is doing, freeing us of red tape. Eliminating how many regulations for every new one they take on. He's still doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that ultimately these changes, and this is another example, just like when Vic and Ken and I were talking about things that we just accept, and that we don't realize that these things have been sabotaging our well-being for so long. The Uniparty being a great example of that. Like everything that President Trump is doing in terms of making trade fair as well as free, righting the ship as it relates to what our military does and doesn't do, bringing back manufacturing, cutting regulations. These are all things he's having to correct that were all perpetrated really by both the Republicans and the Democrats. I mean, Democrats aren't the only ones to blame for what the situation we're in right now.
No, I'm with you on the Uniparty completely. I know that's real. I believe it, just like you do. But another example would be healthcare. Over-regulation. If the government would get out of the way and allow healthcare companies to literally compete freely, healthcare would come down. We have the best healthcare in the entire world. Well, the cost would come down if they were allowed to freely compete and they weren't assigned territories, which is basically what they are now. They basically say, okay, in this 2-state area, you've got X, Y, and Z. That's your only choice. Let everybody compete, and that's just another example of how the government makes our lives harder.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Well, and pharmaceuticals are a great example of that. And the Republicans haven't done anything about drug prices, and still President Trump came along. That's because President Trump doesn't take money from the pharmaceutical industry. It's the number one contributor to political campaigns in the country. And that is why, for instance, we don't have alternative medicines. You have individuals like McConnell wanting to ban hemp products, and veterans still have to have pills shoved down their throats by the Veterans Administration. And one thing that, so Republicans haven't done anything about that. And I remember Obama. You remember the generic drug, right? So you ever wonder whatever happened to all the generic drugs out there? Well, what happened is that Obama made it just as expensive to file all the paperwork and do all that kind of stuff for generic drugs as it was for the regular on the market drugs, as a favor to the pharmaceutical industry. So at that point, people who made generic drugs were like, well, why even bother if we've got to spend millions just like the other guys do to file our paperwork on it? It's that simple.
Yeah. Excellent point. And that's, again, yet another reason why both parties hate Donald Trump, because you just said it. He's not part of the take. He's not on the take. He doesn't take money from them. Well, at the end of the day, both parties really don't like this guy. The Republicans are playing along and then there are some Republicans, like Ted Cruz and Rubio, that genuinely like the guy, but the party elites cannot stand the guy, and they want him to go away just as much as the Democrats do.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah, that's not how we do things. You see, it's like, whatever.
Yeah,
but
I see Mitch McConnell stumble around. He can't even sit up in a chair, and he's closing in on 90 years old, and they keep sending him back there. Our founding fathers did not intend on that. They intended people to have honor and go there and serve a couple terms and go home. So I used to never be for term limits. I'm all for them now.
Well, and it's funny because these guys sometimes, I remember, I think it was either Durbin or somebody, they go on the floor of the Senate and brag that they've been there for 45 years. I'm like, you should be embarrassed you've been there for 45 years. I've been a senator for 45 years. Well, that means you haven't done anything in your life worthwhile.
That's how bass backwards they are. And they're proud. Yeah, they're proud. They're proud of it because they call it serving. They're not serving. They're taking. They go there to become millionaires.
Exactly. I mean, it's just it's so funny that the kinds of things that we just accept, as well, that's just the way it is. And President Trump, that's why, in talking earlier in the show, it's so important to keep this up, because there are so many people who figure, 3.5 years isn't that long to wait to go back to burning and shoving it up the rear end of the American populace. So, we can wait 3.5 years. And again, I'm not doubting J.D. Vance. I really do like the guy. I'm just saying it's super important for us to stay on the ball because these people are waiting to go back to all the spending we've been doing, to re-energize the Department of Education, to unravel all the Doge cuts, to bring us back into a bunch of warmongering military-industrial complex advocates. And so, they're waiting. And 3.5 years goes by very, very fast.
Yes, it does. And the campaign will start 2.5 years in from now. So, and I do believe it's going to be, I think we're going to see Vance Rubio as number one. So it'll be interesting to see who else surfaces between now and then. But I'm with you. J.D. Vance grows on me more every day. I didn't even know who the guy was when he first selected him, but it's an example of Trump always being ahead of everybody.
Yeah, and I think J.D. Vance is confident enough that he's not going to listen to a bunch of people who are going to try to convince him that he needs to go back to the old ways. I don't think he'd ever do that. It's just he's just not built that way. So you can really see that he's a different breed, and he really is so much like President Trump.
Yeah, and Trump treats him differently. If you look back at the last two previous administrations, Obama couldn't stand Biden and would just always send him out to pull flowers or pull weeds or something. Go do this, go do that, just stay away. And Obama did that with Biden. And here you have Trump and Vance. Vance is with him all the time. They're always doing things together. They're plotting and planning together. That's how it should. So everything is different about a Trump presidency.
Right on.
Everything. And it's better.
Yeah, we just have to we got to make sure. And you're right. I mean, Rubio, Vance. I mean, any of these people. It's interesting to have a cabinet where you envision any one of them could be president of the United States, and I'd be okay with it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, 100%, best cabinet I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, no doubt. All right, brother. Well, listen. I hope you have a fun night at Guns and Hoses, and say hi to the gang for me. And thanks for all you're doing for our first responders too, with that network that you're supporting. I'll have to see if I can get them on the air at one point and maybe talk about a few things with them. So we really appreciate what you guys are doing.
You bet, my friend. I'm sure he'd love to do that, and it's my honor. I love being able to give back. So
yeah,
God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for everything, brother.
God bless you, and happy Thanksgiving, man. Love you so much, and hope you and your family have a really beautiful one. We'll see you, man. Okay, that is Rick Pogue. I don't know about you, but I kind of like it when President Trump throws insults around. One of my guilty pleasures. And you'll hear him do just that coming up. It's Common Sense Radio, the 3 Martini Lunch.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL.
ClaytonSleep.com, people, for all of your sleep problems. Better sleep, better life. That's how we are chatting right now. I want to make sure that you guys know how important it really is, because there are so many different health damaging components of a bad night's sleep. First of all, it'll slow your metabolism because your body is kind of like, well, I don't really, I'm in this mode where your body's saying that they're not getting sleep, so I've got to kind of save energy. So I'm going to slow the body down a little bit, and that creates weight gain and things like that. If you wonder why, hey, how come I'm gaining weight? I don't even understand what's going on. It's probably because your body is storing everything you're eating because it's afraid you're not taking good care of it. So that's one of the things that, and of course, just basic concentration and basic productivity, those kinds of things. A good night's sleep will give you in a positive way and make it happen for you. Dr. Joe Ogile is my sleep guru. He's helped me through many different types of therapies for better sleep, and he'll do that for you too, solving sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, insomnia, and beyond. It's the Clayton Sleep Institute, strong supporters of free, common sense, conservative radio, ClaytonSleep.com.
Hi, it's Chris Arps, and I've been a customer of Royal Banks, Missouri for many years. They're a full-service, locally owned and operated community bank with 17 locations throughout the St. Louis area, including locations in Hannibal, Jerseyville, Granite City, as well as 2 locations in St. Charles. Plus, given today's headlines in the overall banking industry, it is reassuring to know Royal Banks, Missouri has the highest financial ratings in St. Louis for stability and strength. Royal Banks of Missouri is reinvesting in its hometown University City. They've now opened the doors to their new location at 8550 Olive Boulevard at the corner of Olive and McKnight. Stop by to see their refreshed look with the same exceptional Royal Bank service you know and trust. Learn more about the move in University City by visiting royalbanksofmo.com today. That's Royal Banks of Missouri, the community bank for your community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Yo, this is Vic. Vic for Vets is proudly honoring our veterans. Every Wednesday at 11:05, you'll hear about that day's honoree and their incredible service to our country.
Hi, it's Ken. You want to nominate a veteran? Send their name, service information, and story to me, Ken, at newstalkstl.com.
Brought to you by Alamo Military Collectibles and Monocle's Pizza.
Together, let's celebrate the heroes in our community. Vic for Vets, where honor meets gratitude.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new News Talk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Allman Report. Jamie Allman here with you, and Ashton's over there. And we were just talking about restaurants, and Ashton, you were talking about Ponderosa, right? Is there still a Ponderosa around?
Let me Google it. I don't believe so, though.
Okay.
They shut down.
That's where you'd have basically it was downer cattle, you know. That's what that steak was. I hope you guys know that. So my dad and I, whenever we would go to see a movie, which we did a lot, we would go in U City. We'd go to the Rustler Steakhouse, and it was right next to what is still Target. I don't know what's at that time. The store was Target was a Venture. Remember those, the Venture stores? And so next door was the Rustler Steakhouse, and you'd go in there, and that's where they had, the salad bar, and they had the steak, and it basically was, I say downer cattle because it was like, generally it was like C grade. I don't know exactly what grade it was, but it's like cattle that basically the food, it was not grocery store acceptable. And so they would basically just make it like Rustler would make it. And it was good though, because all you had to do was dump a bunch of A1 sauce on it. And 12 locations, 3 in the USA. So they've got other ones like around the world. Ponderosa, if they have 12 locations, 3 in the USA, they probably do have one like in Malaysia or something, because those people, they love the good old-fashioned American steakhouse and that kind of thing. But yeah, all you had to do was dump a bunch of A1 sauce on it, and you could put A1 sauce on this coffee cup and it would taste good. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like icing. Michael Burton, our friendly neighborhood Democrat, says, I still can't get over Donald Trump fawning and gushing over NYC Mayor Mamdani and Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning. MAGA is starting to fracture. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, honestly, you can actually believe that, and that's okay. I think the more you believe MAGA is fracturing, the better off you are, because you guys are failing at everything you're doing. This CIA operation that your 6 senators took part in with the videotape, that's a complete and total failure. That's blowing up in their face. The FBI is even investigating it. And Fannie Willis, did you watch the news today? Fannie Willis, that case is completely as completely and totally blown up. And you know what we got from that case? We got something that basically almost all but assured the victory for Donald Trump. I mean, it's crazy. And by the way, what was great is we got that mugshot out of it, and the mugshot was so amazing that the news media stopped using it. They're like, oh, finally we got Trump's mugshot. It turns out like it looks more like a presidential portrait. It's so badass that you never saw the mugshot again, right? Because you'd think a mugshot of a president by all the media haters and everybody else would be plastered all over the place. But we saw the mugshot one time, one day, and that was when this indictment and the arrest and all that kind of stuff, one day, and then it disappeared, and you guys know it, right? So nothing is working out for you. And the meeting with Mamdani was just was a classic President Trump thing. I still don't know what the MTG thing was all about. But you guys have Democrats like Ilhan Omar declaring that Somalis are the fabric of this nation. You know how stupid that sounds? And Maxine Waters, and you've got the flip nut Hakeem Jeffries. Come on. And then you've got a bunch of like dying old white dudes, because of course they're the ones who you guys talk a good game about minorities, but you never see them in positions of power. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries, maybe, but you've got Sheldon Whitehouse, you've got Chuck Schumer, you had Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it's what do you have? So of course, again, you know, if you want to kind of suck on your thumb for a little bit because it comforts you to say that MAGA's fracturing, that's fine, but it's not. So, you know, I'll let CNN tell you the story too.
This is CNN breaking news.
Yeah.
We are following breaking news just into CNN. A Georgia prosecutor officially dropped the historic racketeering case against President Trump and others for attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election. I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's working out for you. I mean, yeah, you guys killed Charlie Kirk. I mean, I guess that's an accomplishment of yours. But you know, you tried to kill him twice. President Trump twice. That didn't work. So it's like you're crazy. I went to our food and grocery. I want to see our food and grocery prices and our energy prices to go down. They are going down. Gas prices are down. You guys are it's so interesting. You guys are suddenly interested in the economy. Like, do you think, who are you fooling? Really? I mean, you're suddenly interested in, like, oh, we're all about affordability. It's like, you are? You've never been about affordability. You guys tried to destroy the economy with your Branch Covidian plot, and you guys have never been about affordability. You guys are about free stuff and wealth redistribution, but you've never been about, I mean, come on, a Democrat suddenly concerned about egg prices. Right. I mean, that's funny. Yeah. You seen the price of hamburger lately? It's like, oh, shut up. Really? You guys didn't never cared about the price of hamburger in your lifetime. And now suddenly you're just you're the secret shopper all of a sudden, Affordability. It's like, no, it's for you guys, it's all free. You bring a bunch of illegal aliens in here, you give them all their free stuff so they'll vote for you. And now they're gone. A lot of them are gone. So you lost a lot of voters. That's changed. And that's probably one of the reasons why ultimately when it comes time for 2026, you guys aren't going to do nearly as well as you did. I mean, I congratulate you on the victory of the Democrats in 2 blue states. But other than that, I think you're kind of... All right, I need to get to... But thank you for chiming in, young Michael. Hey, one of the reasons I think Trump is the boss is because he's not just going to pardon a couple of turkeys. Which I'm glad, because I mean, I still don't understand that, and I'm not the slightest bit interested in that kind of stuff. That and Easter egg rolls on the White House lawn never thrilled me, but he pardons a couple of turkeys, but not without insulting a couple of other turkeys. So you'll be able to hear that coming up on the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
News, analysis, opinion.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have given in to the far-left progressive base.
Has Mamdani won the soul of the Democrat Party?
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about Gulf Shores Restaurant and Grill. You heard Harry Parker talking about what's happening on Black Friday, and this is only from... Now I forgot the time. Is it 7:30 to 8:30 or 8:30 to 9:30? I think it's 1 hour, 8:30, 9:30. I would double check that at GulfShoresRestaurantandGrill.com. But that's where he is going to be selling the gift cards, the $50 gift cards for $35. Like I'm pretty sure it's 8:30, 9:30 because it's 7:30 is a little early. 8:30, 9:30. And the gift cards, $50. Gift cards for $35. Plus, you get free beignets and this really delicious Nolan-style coffee when you walk in there. So it's really a cool thing. Like, it's kind of like a fire sale for these gift cards, but the gift cards for $35 for a $50 gift card is outstanding. I am also, I think he's going to have, yes, he is. He's going to have the turducken plates for you. So on Friday, if you didn't have enough for Thanksgiving, you can get the turducken dinner at Gulf Shores Restaurant and Grill. I am going by there to pick up my turducken today, which is going to be outstanding. And so I'm really excited about that. And otherwise, when you're out shopping, go ahead, go by before you go hit the malls or doing whatever you're doing. Go ahead, get your gift cards, and then maybe later on stop back in for happy hour, have the gator bites or the Nolan-style oysters or whatever it happened to be, and a hurricane. Sound good to you right around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on a Friday? Absolutely. Weekends are amazing there too, and of course you're getting music, and you're getting all the accoutrements of great Nolan-style cooking, sauce making, seasoning, you name it. Gulf Shores Restaurantandgrill.com.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpets sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
Fall rebates are here at Johnson Heating and Cooling. Save up to $600 off your new heating and cooling system. Plus, get a free humidifier when you purchase a complete system. And here's the best part. We're offering up to 0% financing for 60 months. That means you can stay comfortable all winter without breaking the bank. Don't forget our $99 furnace checkup. These incredible offers expire November 30th. Call 636-332-4141 or visit johnson-heatingandcooling.com.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. When you are out and about, still today or on Friday, now is the time to go ahead and nail down that beautiful gift of Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Let me tell you something. Right there at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend, really easy to get to. It's a beautiful place, too. It's really so sweet and warm. And right overhead, God is welcome here. Had a wonderful conversation with Richard. Richard's kind of my scripture guru. You know, we talk jewelry and everything else in the show, but we talk a lot about God because he is absolutely a godly guy. And that's how he approaches his business. That's how he approaches service and pricing. And the really beautiful part about all this is it's family run. It's a legacy operation. So Richard Newsteader cut his teeth at the age of 17 at the world-famous Jacquard's Jewelers right there downtown St. Louis back in the day when people smoked on airplanes and jewelry stores were in high-rises. Absolutely. So anyway, he is one of the few remaining master engravers. So you can still get something beautifully engraved, even from the ground up for Christmas from Richard Newsteader. And he has the layaway program. That's something he's brought with him from the past, you know, because it's old school to have a layaway program, right? So that's really cool for you to go ahead, go in on Friday or over the weekend, pick something beautiful out for your lovely wife. Maybe Diana will show you the stacker rings, or Jackie will show you the diamonds. She's the one who came up with the term wow diamonds, wowdiamonds.com, because she looked at these beautiful diamonds, mine diamonds as well as lab-grown diamonds, and said, wow, those are beautiful. And they are. Ladies, your husband or your boyfriend or your son or whatever is really going to enjoy the Frank Sinatra bull of a watch. I have one. They're really great. And the presentation of them is really very, very cool. And they also have a wish list. So you can go in there Friday, Saturday, whatever it happens to be, go in there, look at something, write something down, put it right in that wish list, and then simply refer your lovely one to the wish list at Newsteader's Fine Jewelry, Doherty Ferry and Big Bend, wowdiamonds.com.
Colombo and Company.
State Rep Justin Sparks is the latest Missouri politician to join the Trump administration. We'll discuss the state's influence Wednesday with Missouri political insider Rodney Boyd, and we'll open closest cabinet.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Jamie Allman here with you.
I can't seem to face up to the facts. I'm tense and nervous and I can't relax. I can't sleep because my bed's
This reminds me of the old days.
Don't touch me, I'm a real live wire. Psycho killer.
I remember listening to this as a freshman in college, man. The Talking Heads. This guy would later be the singer of the Allman Report theme song. I never would imagine that when I was 18 years old, you know. Getting high and listening to this. I remember going up to Madison, Wisconsin, you know, for school. You can't even finish it. Good old David Byrne, man. Love this guy so much. It's a good song, isn't it? So it was really bad because in Missouri, the drinking age was 21 years old. So we had to basically generally steal liquor from our parents, who, by the way, knew we were stealing it, but we thought they didn't. And, or we would, can you believe this? Like this actually happened. Like people actually did this. Like I'd never in a million years do it, but we used to hang out like in Walgreens' parking lot and literally ask people to buy us beer. And they would. They did. This was like in 1978, 77, 79, you know. But if you were going into a store and some high school kid asked you to buy them a 6-pack of beer, you'd never in a million years do it. But people were different then, I guess. Felt sorry for us. Well, and then, so I'm 21 in Missouri, so I go up to Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, and the drinking age is 18 up there. And so I, and a lot of other people not from Wisconsin were like, whoa, wait a minute. I can buy a 6-pack of beer, just walk into a place and buy a 6-pack of beer. And guess what we did? We went in and bought a 6-pack of beer. And then the next day we went in and bought a 6-pack of beer. And then the next day we went in and bought a 6-pack of beer. And then when we ran out of money, we'd sell our plasma for $10. And after we got the $10, we'd go in and buy another 6-pack of beer. That's right. Or 24 beers for like $3 because it was such crappy beer. It's like back in the day, Leinenkugel wasn't so fancy. Now it's fancy because they have like the Summer Shandy and all those other things. Back in those days, you had Leinenkugel there in the bottles, and they had the recycling roller marks on them, you know. And sometimes you got beer, and sometimes you got lye. You just had to be. It just was the luck of the draw. Oh, so funny. Anyway, people, I got to get to this because President Trump, you know, I love the fact that there's nothing really sacred to him. I mean, there are some things sacred to him, like, for instance, the country of the United States of America. But you know what I mean, like this turkey pardon thing. It's like, you know, he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and pardon these turkeys, but I'm not gonna let this moment go past it where I'm going to pass up an opportunity to eviscerate the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois.
A lot of murders on a weekly basis. We haven't had a murder in 6 months. And it doesn't sound good even to say that. We haven't had a murder in 6 months. But when you were averaging 1 and even sometimes 2 a week, and you haven't had 1 in 6 months, you can walk with your family down the middle of any street, go to a restaurant, you won't get in. They're opening new restaurants.
What's funny is while he's doing this, you're hearing like, bloop, 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 bloop. You're hearing the turkeys in the background.
And it's really been a beautiful thing to see. So Washington, D.C. is now a totally safe city. And a year ago, it was a criminal mess. We removed, Pam, 1,700 people, career criminals, and people that came to this city from Venezuela and many other places. They were let out of prisons and they came here. There were a lot of Tren de Aragua, that's from Venezuela. and we got them all the hell out of our country, or they're in prisons now. And you can walk down any street in Washington and you're going to be just fine. And I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank Pete Hegseth. The job you've done here is incredible. And I hear you having the same kind of success in Memphis, Tennessee, where you had an even worse situation. And Memphis crime is down 64% in 3 weeks. And by the time you have 4 or 5 weeks, you're going to have it down almost where there won't be crime. And we could do that in Chicago, by the way, if they would let us. If the mayor was a low IQ person, but he should understand this. This is a very serious thing. You saw all the crime that took place last night, the night before. The woman with the burning, they burned the woman. To be talking about that now, they burned this beautiful woman riding in a train. A man was arrested 72 times. 72 times, think of that. And they'll let him out again.
A baby
the
there,
liberal
too.
judges will let him out again. But we're ready to go. You know, we've been moving toward Chicago. We have a governor that thinks it's wonderful that only like 7 people were killed this week. But we are moving toward doing, and we're going to, if crime gets, it's horrible what's happening in Chicago. We could make Chicago a safe city in a period of 4 weeks. In a period of 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, it would be totally safe. And the people of Chicago want us to go there. And if you look at the crime that's taken place in Chicago in the last 2 weeks, just take a look. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control. The mayor is incompetent, and the governor is a big fat slob.
All the turkeys are loving that too. Call him a fat slob again.
He ought to invite us in.
They're all like, President Trump just called Pritzker a fat slob.
Say, please make Chicago safe. We're going to lose a great city if we don't do it quickly. Make Chicago, we'll do the same.
You don't get, I mean, and that's the thing. You don't get that kind of jocularity and everything else. And I realize I love the people out there because I realize some people are like, oh, that's not dignified. It's like, I get it. But you know what? We've had dignified before, you know? What did dignified get us before? It got us, our men and women sent overseas to unjust wars. It ruined manufacturing. It screwed over the country with terrible trade deals, and it ballooned the cost of pharmaceuticals and beyond. So I'll take if that's what dignified brings us. I don't really have any use for dignified. Not to mention the crime President Trump is talking about. So dignified hasn't got us a whole lot. So it might as well be a wooden nickel. Well, everybody, I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving. I am thankful for you. And Ashton, I'm thankful for you. And you guys, love you. Looking forward to going into the holiday season with you as well. Have a good one, everybody.
This December 13th, join wreaths across America at Belle Reve Gardens Cemetery as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. Help us lay remembrance wreaths on the graves of